Hello. Thank you for joining me on our Wednesday devotional time. What a privilege it is to share with you some thoughts. And today I have something very, very practical to share with you. In fact, I want to start with a confession. I want to confess that I have a tendency to overreact. When things happen that I'm not prepared for, I can overreact. I wish it were not so. I try to control that, but it's true. But I think that's the case with many of us. Someone said a man isn't known by how he acts when he's in control, but how he acts when he's not in control. Here are my scripture verses, and I'll give you a couple thoughts about how to react, maybe how not to react. Matthew chapter 5, verse 43, Jesus said, "Ye have heard that it hath been said, Thou shalt love thy neighbor, and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you." So, how are we supposed to react when things go wrong? I think one thing that'll help us to react properly is to realize that everybody's having a hard time. You look at your life and you say, well, nobody's going through this thing or that thing that I'm going through. And they may not be. But everybody's having a hard time. I try to put up sort of a facade that says everything's perfect in my life. But the fact is, everything's not perfect. I like to portray a good attitude, but things happen in our lives. And being in the pastorate, I deal with people whose lives are disrupted sometimes pretty badly. I'm thinking right now of the Ann Salvish family. We mentioned them on Sunday for prayer. A brother-in-law of Jay and Cindy Ann Salvish passed away suddenly and so unexpectedly on Saturday. Very, very sad. Their response and their reaction will either help the other family or not help the other family. Things happen that are terrible like that, and some things happen that on their own are not so terrible, but given a certain day, they can be. One day last week, Brother Eric Heischman, our business manager, came into work, and he seemed like he wasn't his normal jovial self. So I said, "Anything wrong, Eric?" He said, "Oh, no, well, here's what happened. That morning was trash day at his house, so he'd put his trash can out, and when the trash truck emptied it, they missed, and the trash spilled all over his yard, and the trash people didn't come back and pick it up." So that's what he faced first thing in the morning before he came in. Well, my reaction probably wouldn't have been very good either. So I'm saying that everybody's having a hard time. If we understand that, we'll give them a little more grace, recognizing that they're having a hard time just like we are. The second thing is this: positive reactions are far better than negative reactions. Now, I believe you have to plan positive reactions. You have to have a mindset that says, if something happens to me, I'm going to respond properly. If something happens to me, I'm not going to take it personally. If something happens to me, I'm going to respond positively. Now, that rarely will happen unless you are thinking that way. When you set yourself up in the morning, get a verse or get a thought in your mind that says, I need to respond properly. I need to react as a Christian. And then the third thought is this: when we react properly, we give a good witness for Jesus Christ. Here's how a Christian responds when trouble comes. Here's how a Christian reacts when problems come. You see, everybody's having a hard day. Everybody's having a hard time. Life isn't easy. Life isn't fair. So let's be careful that we respond and demonstrate the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, the fruit of the Spirit in our lives. You know how that happens? It happens when we're filled with the Spirit. Have a wonderful day and respond, react properly. God bless you.